I have been in contact with Gaige Grosskreutz over email in the hopes of having him on my show. It looked like it was going to come off perfectly well. Neil Kernan, who, as you guys know as V Radio, and I were going to co-host the show, and we were going to talk to Gaige about the kind of questions that we could ask him, given that he has future litigation with Kyle Rittenhouse. Unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, he just disappeared. He has not responded to any of my follow-up emails to continue on with the discussions. I have no idea what's happened to him. I have repeatedly sent him emails saying, hey, Gaige, I really need to talk to you. Gaige, I need to talk to you about your email. But he has ignored me completely. So at this point, I don't think that interview is going to come off. Now, when I did send him the questions, I told him that he needed to only answer those questions that he felt comfortable doing, and that he should probably talk to his lawyer first before answering them. He sent me back responses to about half of them. And the other half, I can understand why he would not want to answer them, which was fine. I was not trying to do a gotcha on him. This was not meant to be an interrogation. It was really all about trying to get to know who Gaige really is. So I have the responses that he sent me, and we have one here that's really interesting. And in fact, maybe even a game changer. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dredd Show.
Okay, so here is what one of the email messages said. I find this to be really mind-blowing, okay? It says here, and before I begin, I have confirmed his identity. He sent me screen captures of his driver's license and his valid CCW. I opened them up in Photoshop. There's no doubt about it. They're genuine. This is Gaige Grosskreutz. Okay, and it says here, in regards to Kyle, I can say with assurance in every fiber of my being, I have no ill will towards him. I never have. Wait, what? Okay, let's go back to an interview that he gave with Michael Strahan, former football player, on Good Morning America. Remember, he is saying here, I have no ill will towards him. I never have.
With Rittenhouse taking the stand, what did you think of his testimony?
Well, I think anytime you see your would-be murderer on the stand, it's emotional.
And what was your reaction to him breaking down and crying on the stand?
To me, it seemed like a child who had just gotten caught doing something that he wasn't supposed to. More upset that he was caught and less upset about what he had done and what he had taken and the numerous lives that he affected through his actions that night.
But you testified you thought you were going to die that night. Talk to me about what was going through your mind in those moments.
I mean, there's a million things that run through your mind when somebody's pointing a rifle at you after just having murdered somebody.
And Gaige, what do you want people to know about this case and what happened that night that they may not already know or think that they know?
I think the most important thing to remember is that Kyle Rittenhouse was an active shooter. He murdered 2 men, and he attempted to murder me.
Okay, does it sound to you like Gaige has never had any ill will toward Kyle Rittenhouse? I wanted him to come on the show because one of the questions I was going to ask him was, can you tell us kind of what happened there? I mean, you say one thing, it kind of sounds like the other. Can we get some clarification? I sent him, that is one of the questions I planned to ask him for him to vet first. So I wasn't going to surprise him with that question. And if he told me that he didn't want to answer it, then I would not have asked it. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but let's go on here. He says, we both made a decision on how to live our lives after the trial, and we both chose opposite paths. I chose to go dark. And by that, I don't think he means like in a negative sense. I think he just means like incognito. And he chose to apparently become involved in politics. I will say I was a bit salty when I saw him in a photo with Brandon Herrera, Donut, I guess he's talking about Donut Operator, and Garen Thumb. I dig their content. I never knew that Kyle met up with Donut Operator. Odd. And I used to love Donut Operator's shows until he started talking about himself too much. That being said, I respect it. He's a human being, and I hope he's doing well, and his family are safe. Okay. Given my filed lawsuit and his countersuit, though, I fear we're both locked in till the end. So, Gaige, I don't know, man. You seem to have a real inconsistency here in your argument. But keep in mind, he also has another inconsistency in his take on whether he pointed the gun at Kyle, but that's for the next show. So, what about his lawyer here? Well, it could be that his lawyer told him, hey, you need to play it up that Kyle is a bad guy in this interview. And if so, that was a serious mistake. You don't want your witnesses going out and banking everything around a false narrative, because sooner or later, the truth is going to come out. So at this time, when he's given this interview, how does he feel about Kyle? Interesting. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. And tell me what you think.